In the Chargers game versus Seahawks, the defense is still struggling stopping the run with 2 defensive tackles. They were able to stop the run with 2 defensive tackles and a nose tackle, so essentially 5 linemen, but gave up some long passes when that was the case. But overall, the defense looks really good. Our offense interior cannot keep a pocket as often the quarterback's arms hit as they threw. Quarterbacks are being done a disservice by not scheming the defense and keeping things basic. Those things will certainly affect quarterback play. Having said that, I think what Greg Roman is trying to do is trying to have versatility on the offensive line and in other positions, but what that does is it requires a longer time to learn those plays, so he has to keep it super basic, and as a result of that, you're not going to do well. You're not going to be able to scheme the defense, but that's going to help the offense in the long run in the event that someone gets injured, which is always happens. It's always going to happen every year. You just don't know who, and you just don't know when, so having that versatility is definitely going to help us in the long run. It's just going to take longer to get things rolling, so it's going to require patience for sure, but that makes it things to evaluate quarterback play because you're not having an effective run game. You're not really trying to do things that do well. Like if your run game is doing well, they're not going to continue to run it and you're going to pass it, and defense is going to know that, so it makes it harder to evaluate players that way. Having said that, I like what I saw with Max Duggan. I think he's kind of a gamer. I liked his presence on the field. According to PFF, he had a high adjusted percentage at 70%. Looked pretty good as a runner. So did Easton Stick. I thought he had some balls that were put on some people. I think Brendan Rice dropped one of his balls. Fehoko caught one of his balls that looked really good. But still, you probably want to expect more out of a backup quarterback, and I'm not sure Jim Harbaugh saw that in the game. Luis Perez throws a really nice over-the-shoulder ball. I mean, he placed that ball on the money. Hit the receiver in stride. It goes Jalen Johnson. And that was with that throw. I think that made him the quarterback with the most yards that evening. Patterson averaged 5.4 yards per carry. Pretty good. He was even called JPat by Jim, which is probably a good sign because if you have a nickname, that means the coach knows you really well. And Jim Harbaugh did a good job calling 2 timeouts, one at the goal line when it seemed like there was some lack of communication and one of the linebackers didn't look like they knew what was going on. So he called the timeout. Looked like it might have been a pass play by the offense, and the next play they ran it and we stuffed it. So that was a good call by Jim. And another timeout was to prevent a delay of game. So good job by him to be able to manage the game effectively and help the team out by putting him in better situations. Spiller had a good pass block that I saw. He got good kudos by Jim Harbaugh, and the offensive O-line still can't block. So there was one play where Easton Stick was trying to make a throw. He didn't even step up in the pocket, and his arm still got hit. So if we have an injury, if Bozeman gets injured, and I don't even know how good Bozeman is going to be, but if Bozeman goes down, then that interior line is going to be struggling, because from what I saw from Ben Hymas, he didn't have a whole lot to offer. And that's why I thought that the Chargers should have drafted an interior O-line in the draft, a center guard or somebody, but that did not happen.